Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 16 in the book of 2 Corinthians. I got a story for you today. That is, many years ago, I was on a bike ride. I was in Europe and was in a tent. And my friend and I, Joe, my best friend at the time, we were tired. We were sick of being away from home. We were on the 30th day of our trip. We longed to be with our family. We longed to be with our culture. We longed to speak the right language. We were hungry because we were eating poorly. It had been raining for 3 days. We were in this crappy little tent, and we were wet all the time. I think the tent was orange, and we reached a point where we said that we just wanted to go home. We just wanted to get out of that stupid tent and go home. Well, Paul, in the book of 2 Corinthians, is going to say the same thing. He's in a tent, and so are you, by the way. And this tent is going to be destroyed. And as important and as critical as that our tent is right now, and it's especially central to the way that we think and to the way we move through our physical world, and to our perception and sight, the way we contact other people, in a sense, we're groaning. We're longing to put on a better dwelling. So we're burdened and afflicted and perplexed and persecuted and struck down and wasting away, he says. And this tent is temporary. It's mortal. Our physical body and our minds that our souls live in is temporary. So listen with me as Paul is expressing the same frustration with his tent as I just told you my story about being in the tent with my friend Joe. This is from 2 Corinthians chapter 5. For we know that if the tent that is our earthly home is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this tent we groan, no kidding, longing to put on our heavenly dwelling, if indeed by putting it on we may not be found naked. For while we are still in this tent, we groan, being burdened, not that we would be unclothed, but that we would be further clothed, so that what is mortal may be swallowed up by life. He who has prepared this for us, this very thing, is God, who has given us the Spirit as a guarantee. So here's what Paul's saying, is we have a building coming for us, promised to us, and it's better than a tent. So what things do we know about it? Well, first of all, it's from God, so that's pretty good. We know that it's not made with hands and lumber and wires and plumbing. It's in a different category. And then we know where it's located. So, in real estate, the rule is location, location, locations. So how about if I told you, hey, I've got a house for you, and it's in Hawaii. And it's not just in Hawaii. It's on the island of Kauai. And it's not just on any old place. It's on the Hanalei Bay. And it's on this top of a cliff, and you can overlook this great site. And I've been at a place like that, and the thought that goes through your head is, wow, if I could just live in a place like this, it would be unbelievable. Well, that's what God's saying, is I've got a location for you in the heavens. That is, it's in God's neighborhood, and you get to live there. And guess what? The neighbor, not just the neighborhood, but the neighbor is God. And guess what about this tent is it's eternal. So all the complaints that we have about our groaning tents, they're going to go away. And then he says here, if I leave this tent, well, am I going to be naked? So the burden that Paul is feeling is not that he's going to be untented, and it's not that he's going to be without covering, and it's not that he's going to be without shelter for his soul. It's not that he's going to be naked. The reason he feels a burden here now is that he's going to be further clothed. He's going to live in a better place, an eternal place, a place without decay. And in a sense, knowing that makes this current tent a burden. So what is mortal is going to be swallowed up by life. In chapter 15 of 1 Corinthians, he's already told him this, that death is going to be swallowed up in victory. It's a quote from Isaiah 25, and it's a principle that he's carrying through this. So we are ready to have our tent swallowed up. We are ready, just like I was with my friend Joe, we are ready to be out of this tent. And when we leave this tent, it's not that we're going to be untented and naked. No, it's that we are going to be home. We're going to be in a great neighborhood, which is the heavens, and we're going to have great neighbors, which is the Lord. It's going to be better than the building that we currently have, than the body that we currently dwell our souls in. And then he says this great thing at the end, which is, and by the way, I've given you the Holy Spirit, and he guarantees this. Well, what is guaranteeing about this? So think about this. We have a physical world and a spiritual world. God lives in the spiritual world. Trinity lives in the spiritual world. He has sent the Holy Spirit from the spiritual world to cross over into our physical world, to live in our physical bodies and our physical hearts here. So the Spirit has crossed over. He's crossed over the gap, if you will. And so what he's saying here is that in a similar way, our physical beings are going to cross over to live in the spiritual world. So the Holy Spirit kind of does it backwards from the spiritual world to the physical world now to show us, to guarantee to us that this is actually going to work, that the physical beings, that we get to cross over to live in that spiritual world someday. All right, so let's conclude. You have a tent story too. And the tent story is not just about the tent. It's a groaning story. It's a longing story. It's something as, gosh, there has to be something better than this. And there's no comparison to this promise that he gives us to live with God and to be with God and to be in his neighborhood and to live with God as a neighbor. And the Holy Spirit has crossed over from the spiritual world to our physical world to prove to us that we can cross over from our physical world to someday live in that spiritual world. So if you're an unbeliever today, oh my goodness, this is a call to belief. Claim this promise, if you will. Say to God that you're sorry. Tell him that you're a knucklehead and get the process started. And if you're a believer, I think it's perfectly appropriate to, like Paul, long to be out of this tent. I am ready to get out of this tent. I've got to get out of this tent, and to long for the heavenly dwelling and long for it in a hearty way. I'll see you there.